countdown to the last comic shop in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it is now time for more of the Last Comic Shop podcast.
That's right. Get your strawberry frappes because we're heading down to Riverdale and opening up the shop.
There you go. We're keeping the lights on and keeping the doors open for people that enjoy all sorts of craziness and want to do some good while enjoying that craziness, right? That's a thing.
That's true. I mean, isn't that what we try to do every single week, Chad? Is we try to do good. We try to educate on comic books. We try to.
But yeah, no, we do good. We're do-gooders.
You do good. I'm the host with the most of goodness, Andy Larson. I'm joined by two really good co-hosts in J. Scott and Chad Smith, as well as a pretty fine guy.
Two really good co-hosts and Mike.
And our local Jughead.
That's right. He is fine. I've seen him around the ladies. He is fine.
He is taken, sir.
It's a curse.
And you can't stop the charm. Mikey's got too much charm.
It is a kryptonite to every lady. Any case, if you're wondering why we were talking about Riverdale, it's because we do have a book involving those folks from Riverdale: Archie, Jughead, Veronica, Betty, Mr. Weatherby, and all the rest.
Josie and the Pussycats show up too.
But also a Marvel character, and one of the most famous ones, at least in the last 30 years, which is the Punisher. And they had a mashup in the mid-'90s called Punisher Meets Archie, or Archie Meets the Punisher, which kind of book you bought. But long story short, we did this particular book review as part of the live stream for The Cure, which if you have never listened to one of our past episodes about this worthwhile cause, it's basically a 2-day event in which a lot of podcasters from throughout the world come together. They try to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute. And so that event happened a couple months ago. And for those folks that may have missed out on said event, we thought that we would bring you the proceedings.
Aren't the proceedings the things that came before? These are the proceedings.
Reseedings?
That's the hairlines.
Anyways, let's go down to the Archive Rama 3000. We'll fire that thing up and let's listen to that show.
The following program has been pre-recorded.
I want more hamburgers. Where are the hamburgers?
So again, this is the live stream for The Cure. It was way back in May of this past year. And thank you so much to Nick, who puts on this event every single year. You'll hear Nick throughout this particular podcast recording.
I do want to shout out Nick and the live stream for The Cure. If you missed it this year, this last one was live stream for The Cure 9. And so I'm thinking there's a very safe chance there's going to be a live stream for The Cure 10. So pay attention to our socials come May, where you can have an opportunity to participate live. If you listen to the rest of the show, we have audience participation. People are throwing out ideas. It's tons of fun. It all goes towards a great cause. Just speaking on behalf of Mikey and Andy and Jay, we could not be happier to be invited to participate and do something that actually might make a difference in this world. And so, yeah, it's great. So if you missed out, don't panic. There's going to be another one. And hopefully we'll see you in May at the live stream for The Cure.
Till that time, here is the recording of Archie and the Punisher.
Oh, all right, gentlemen. Hello. Welcome back to Live Stream for The Cure.
Well, thank you so much for having us back, Nick.
I swear I totally read the book for this segment this year. Totally. It's not still sitting in the inbox unread. No matter what anybody
Jughead
else tells
would
you.
do.
Yeah, exactly. That is something Jughead would do.
But
it's okay, Nick. It's all right.
before you guys get started talking about what you're going to be talking about tonight, who are you? What do you want?
Who are we and what do we want? We're the Last Comic Shop podcast. I'm the host with most, Andy Larson. I'm joined by Jay Scott, my loyal co-host, as well as Chad Smith. But don't worry, we are a comic book podcast out there, www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. We try to get folks interested in reading comics. We know that a lot of folks are on that peripheral they may be liking the movies or whatever, and we try to get them like, hey, get out to a local comic book shop, look out to a local bookstore, support those local businesses, snag a comic. You might just enjoy it. And we do know that sometimes when folks go into those places, they're like, well, what should I read? Well, one book that you can read is the interesting mashup of when Punisher came to Riverdale. That's what we've got here. We're hoping to raise some money for this wonderful cause. Again, Nick, thank you so much for inviting us. This is something that we look forward to every single year, an opportunity to raise money for cancer research and to support your worthwhile cause. So again, thank you for inviting back the last
Thank
comic
you
shop.
for coming back. Every year, thank you for coming back. Really, really appreciate it.
Before we get started here, as always, the Last Comic Shop does want to throw out a couple of incentives for those folks that may be thinking about donating during our segment. First and foremost, if you live in the continental United States and you are the highest donor during this particular segment, we will like to send you a Last Comic Shop t-shirt, just like I'm wearing. We've got some other styles there, like JA's got the one with just the logo, and Chad's got the one with the old school logo. Long story short, any of these logos, any of these shirts, any size, any color, you tell us what you want. As long as you're in the continental United States, we will be happy to send you a shirt as being the highest donor during our segment. But in addition to that, as we've often done in every single past live stream for The Cure, we do these comic book mashups where like two characters meet and fight. And so we want to throw it out to the group once again this year that if you have a $5 donation and want to throw out two characters, doesn't need to be from comic books, but if you want to throw out two characters that may want to fight, tussle a little bit,
we're going to mash them up.
We will do our best, as Chad said. We will do our best to make an interesting mashup scenario that might work for you. So $5, two characters, hilarity will hopefully ensue.
we're hoping. No promises. Listen, I know Andy's already gushed a little bit, but we can't thank you guys enough for this opportunity to come in. And we don't have a lot of skills. We do have a Mikey, though.
Oh, my
awesome.
God.
That's how it goes sometimes. But no, we don't have a lot of skills as humans, but what we can do is talk about comic books. And the fact that we can do that for a good cause, like, that is just awesome. So thank you so much.
So I think for this segment, what we're going to do here is, since Nick didn't read the comic book, we were going to explain how this came about, who was involved with the project, and then give a 10-cent synopsis. We're going to let you, Nick, ask questions, because I'm sure just the premise of Punisher coming to Riverdale.
I already have so many.
So many questions.
So many questions. So let's go ahead and get the creators from J.A. Scott. When did it come out, first and foremost? But then who worked on this project?
Okay, so this is Archie meets the Punisher, or the Punisher meets Archie, depending on which version of the book you got. So he's going to Riverdale of Archie fame, not Rivendell of J.
With the hobbitses?
That would be awesome, though.
Yes.
It would be.
It was co-published both by Archie Comics and Marvel Comics. By the way, if you got the Archie Comics version, it was $1 cheaper. Just saying. There might have been some arbitrage opportunities there. Different covers.
Yeah.
Same story.
Right.
So this came out in 1994 and was written by Bat and Lash with art by Stan Goldberg and John Buscema.
Right, absolutely. One of the ways that they did that was, I think John Buscema did his half of the panels and then handed it over to Stan Goldberg, who did his half of the panels with the Riverdale characters. And then Tom Palmer with those inks came in and kind of smoothed everything out and made it look kind of uniform between the two different styles, because they are definitely contrasting styles for sure. A lot of folks may know John Buscema as the guy that was most famous for drawing Conan the Barbarian.
Wow! $100? That's a lot of money!
I can have my hair done at the beauty parlor with $100.
Okay, so we have a $20 donation from Drew Hallam, and just get ready for this. All right, you ready?
Okay. All right.
Captain Kirk versus Steven Seagal and Chucky versus the Leprechaun. Carry on, my friends. Can't wait for this fun to unfold.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So is it all? Are they all meeting up, or is it two separate
I
fights?
think it's two separate fights. There is a comma in there, and I know Drew wouldn't use that liberally.
All right, so we've got two of these before we move on with creators.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal and Captain Kirk.
Well,
go ahead, Mikey. Take a stab.
I mean, a half sleeping 3-year-old could beat Steven Seagal, so I'm gonna go with. I mean, is it? Wait. I should specify. I'm sorry. Is it old school?
Under Siege.
Yeah.
Under
Is it like
Siege.
old school? Is it like which Steven Seagal is he? Either way,
Let's go with the Under Siege Steven
all right.
Seagal.
Kirk would still kick his ass because Kirk has that like Starfleet kung fu thing where he uses his fist and
Yeah, but as soon as he tries to do one of those kicks where his legs go out like, yes, I don't think Kirk's getting back up.
That's
the
true.
difference is that Kirk has the fallback of the stunt guy that does that looks nothing like him that he can rely on.
That's right.
They just have to do that reverse angle shot so that they make sure they just get the back of his head before he does the
So he lures him in with one of these, and then the stunt guy falls to the ground and screams a terrible scream, and Seagal comes in for the kill, and then Kirk goes and zaps it with his little Star Trek zapper. What do they call that thing?
Phasers.
Phaser.
The phasers, yeah. Set the phasers to F you, Steven Seagal.
Yeah, my only question for this fight is how far away from each other are Steven Seagal and Captain Kirk before the fight starts? Because Seagal's going to get winded on the way there and probably pass out and die. So,
but Steven Seagal's like, that's all he does. He just snaps neck. He like walks up the characters and just snaps necks.
Yeah, he's a rampaging chiropractor. Do we have to have a setup for this fight? Like, you know,
Like they're both guests on Saturday Night Live, and neither one's going to get invited back.
That's right.
All right. Let's move on to the second fight, which was Chucky versus the Leprechaun from the Leprechaun movies, I believe. Yeah. So,
or maybe Lucky, the Lucky Charms mascot, if you want to go that route.
You know what? Let's go with that.
He said the Leprechaun, not a Leprechaun. So that still narrows it down, though.
Yeah, I think it's the From the Hood Leprechaun.
Leprechaun from the Hood.
Or the Leprechaun in space who might have just come back from watching the Captain Kirk Steven Seagal fight.
It would be really funny if Chucky. Okay, so here's the setup. I got it.
All right.
So,
Mikey's got it.
You know, the Chucky's a doll like they sell. It was like My Buddy or whatever it was, right? So the kid buys the Chucky doll not knowing that it's the possessed Chucky doll, but he also, for his birthday, gets a number of like Chucky outfits that you could change the doll into, and one of them is like a St. Patrick's Day outfit. So everybody thinks he's the Leprechaun because he's a little short thing with red hair and a Leprechaun outfit, and the Leprechaun gets angry at that.
It's offensive to his culture.
That's right. It's cultural appropriation.
Like his trademark.
How culturally insensitive is this war? Does it involve heart, stars, clovers, and red balloons?
Or just potatoes and vodka?
Yeah, but also remember, Chucky's got all those residuals coming in from his cameo appearance in Ready Player One.
Oh, yes.
We have donations rolling in from Sheila McLeod.
Wow.
Sheila McLeod, probably, in honor of my dear moonshine slamming podcast god teacher with a heart of gold and just an overall good egg friend. Keep on saving the world. Thank you, Sheila. And then we have Gator Mom with a $100 donation checking in there. Thank you so much. We are steamrolling toward $5,000, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Nice. I think Leprechaun does get the edge, though, because Jennifer Aniston was in the first movie. So he gets hang with Jen Aniston, and that's points in my book, you know.
There you go. The haircut. The Jennifer haircut overtakes them all.
The Rachel. That's right. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's get back to our comic book. Hopefully, we'll get some other mashups in the next couple of minutes. So, again, we mentioned that Barton Lash was the writer. Interesting side note about Barton Lash. He actually won an Eisner in 2002 for his run on The Radioactive Man, a Simpsons tie-in comic book for Best Humor Publication. So, The Simpsons winning all kinds of awards. And folks
but not for this.
No.
Not for this.
Lash based it, sort of modeled it on the 1948 Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein film. But Marvel was sort of really worried about too many people at the company getting wind of this. So they referred to it internally as Project A, and only 7 people were told about it.
Oh, wow.
Before it got published. Because they were so worried about it might get derailed.
Okay.
There you go. They did the announcement, and then boom, it was out shortly thereafter.
I'm sure you could still do that in the age of internet's now, but definitely in 1994 it was a little bit easier to keep these things under wraps.
And one last thing before we get into the 10-cent synopsis is that there was only one note, only one editorial interference came from the Archie side of things when they objected to Punisher shooting a thug during a school dance, and the scene was changed to have the Punisher hit the thug with a cake instead.
It is a little bit out of character for Frank, but the interesting thing is, we'll get into the 10-cent synopsis, is Frank Castle initially comes to Riverdale and he's like, what is going on with this town? Like, this town is like too good to be true. It's like something out of the Twilight Zone. Like, everybody's nice. And by the end of it, he's accepting a Riverdale cardigan with an R, and he's like, oh gosh, I wish I could have raised my kids in someplace nice like Riverdale. So
well,
even the heart of the Punisher was melted by the charming atmosphere.
He's the Punisher. He wishes he could have raised his kids at all.
There you go. Well, let's not forget, had he raised his kids there, there's that home wrecking granny that's trying to put the moves on.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Near the end.
Oh, yes. No, she was hot to trot.
That's right.
Old Frank.
She was hot for Frank throughout.
So
That's right.
But yeah, this series actually started a lot of other Archie crossovers over the years. We got Archie versus Sharknado, Archie and the Predator, just a bunch of them, and it kind of all started here.
Archie meets Kiss.
Yeah. Oh yes, that is actually a really good one. That is one of those books that has no business being good, but it's good. And I will go
just like Kiss, a band that has no business being good, but is good.
Are they though? That's a different show altogether. We should do that later on. But yeah.
All right, Chad. Well, why don't you give us the 10-cent synopsis for what happens in Punisher and Archie?
All right, so here we go. There is a criminal who looks a lot like our famed Archie Andrews, just with worse teeth. And so he is committing crimes, and the Punisher is running after him and trying to track him down. And where does he go? Does he go to Gotham? No. He doesn't go to Rivendell to hang out with the hobbitses. No, he goes to Riverdale and tries to hide there, where he immediately meets Veronica Lodge and her dad, and he's trying to set up business dealings with the dad, and for whatever reason, Dad's like, yeah, take my daughter to her dance, because that's perfectly normal.
So I just met you, and I want to do business with
but
you.
But you're the head of a pharmaceutical firm, so
I'm going to trust my daughter.
Have my daughter, yeah. So they go to the sock hop, and they're there to have a good time. But who shows up but the Punisher? And who does he find but Archie Andrews, who looks like that other guy, except without the buck teeth. But lo and behold, Josie and the Pussycats are there. They're ready to put on a performance. Their stage guy, Scooter, is like, wait a minute, I know what's up here. And he calls in a tip because he knows that the bad guy is here, because he knows the bad guy's the bad guy. And it's not Archie, even though the Punisher thinks the bad guy is Archie. But Archie's not the bad guy. The Punisher thinks he's the bad guy, but he's not the bad guy.
Right.
And then hilarity ensues, and the Punisher hits a guy with a cake, and there's shootings in Riverdale, and everybody's cool with it. And then it all ends well because they figure out what's going on.
And so, Nick, we have now given you who worked on this project and the 10-cent synopsis, a fairly good one from my good friend Chad. So what questions do you have about Archie or meets the Punisher? Because it's not versus. It's not like they ever fight, actually.
The Punisher does stick a gun right to his face. I mean,
He does.
Shoot at him, and Jughead tackles him.
That's right. That's right. Jughead's a badass in this. Like,
Jughead's always a badass, not just in this. Come on.
You know, he's got that overactive thyroid, so he could eat all those burgers, and he's like still rail thin, and he's still like just out there kicking people.
That's the mashup I want to see. I want to see Jughead in Rivendell.
Right.
With the Hobbitses and Third Breakfast, and see who's still pounding plates of bacon.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
All right, now let's let Nick talk. He's probably got at least one question. So
Let's hope so.
we hope you got one question about all of this.
why?
That's a good question. That is a very good question, Nick.
I don't know that we're going to be able to answer that one.
Well, I will say that initially, I think that the main reason this whole hullabaloo started was at a Comic-Con in the early 90s. Some fans stood up and said, "What about this?" And evidently, somebody was listening and went, "You know what? What about that?" And eventually they decided. Again, the Spartan Lash guy, when J.A. had mentioned that he based the entire way that he was writing the story on Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, that movie is actually a really good cross between the horror aspects of Frankenstein and the funny aspects of Abbott and Costello. And that's what he kind of wanted to do here. He kind of wanted to merge those two things and say, like, look, this should be peanut butter and pickles, right? This shouldn't taste really good. But how can we be respectful to the histories of both of these characters by making a silly story? And so they did. Shrugs.
And I was going to say, I have a bone of contention with these the tales we're choosing to tell here, just because this is one of those ideas where this had been bandied about for years between Tom Brevoort and the Archie editor, like, yeah, what if we do this one? And it's one of those dumb ideas that eventually someone's like, yeah, let's do it. You know, just like the whole Superman and the killing of Superman came about because they had a big staff meeting and, you know, they're plotting, like, what are we going to do for the next year worth of Superman stories? And I think it was Jerry Ordway was like, let's just kill him. And then someone else was like, all right.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Let's do it. Let's kill him.
At least they didn't go to a fan vote, and then all the fans basically just killed off Robin.
That's R.I.P. Robin 2.
Yes.
But they brought him back. It's fine.
Yeah, this book, man, I saw when it came out. I never read it because I was like, I wasn't really a Punisher guy, totally into Archie, but the idea was so wacky that when you guys mentioned you were reading it, I was like,
peanut butter and pickles.
But if it was a modern sort of telling, it would have been like 1 page long, and it would have just been them finding Archie's body somewhere. Like it just would. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dark.
It's right. It would have been 1 page long. It would have been like, you know, found one corpse that looks like Conan O'Brien laying face down in a pub. But luckily they chose pies instead of guns, and it made me actually like the Punisher. So that's kind of cool.
Yes, it is a more charming. I'm not because charming's a is a very loaded. He's a little nicer of a Punisher than you would get in other Punisher tales, from what I can remember.
But where's Moose and Midge? Through the whole book, there's no Moose and Midge.
Moose is there.
Oh, was he there?
Moose punches the Punisher or something.
Oh, that's right. He decks him. I'm sorry.
Thinks like he's harassing Archie, and he's like, "Get off of my bucktooth friend Archie." And
that's right.
He's like, "Wait a minute, you're not Archie. I just hit this guy for no reason now."
We had a $25 donation come in from Anonymous. For all those fighting cancer, stay strong. Thank you, Anonymous.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Anonymous. I've read a few Facebook posts by you. They're pretty fabulous.
I was going to say, one of my favorite parts about this, I love how everyone gets their own war journal. You know, like we're used to the Punisher war journal. It's like, oh, you know, October 7th, staked out for 7 hours, blah, 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 blah. Used my M16.
Forgot to put gas in the car. Had to gas up again.
But then you get the Archie war journal. He's like, yeah, it's going to be a long night. I'm sitting here. I'm waiting for Jughead to finish.
Was going to buy the Punisher a milkshake. He didn't want one. Probably good, because my tab is already overextended.
Yes. I want to know, like, it ends on this really awesome cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to know what happens, and they never did anything with it.
No, they never did. And in fact, was it going to be Wolverine versus Jughead or something?
Yeah, Wolverine versus
Oh,
Jughead.
yeah.
That's right.
We
He's
had
madder
Lindsay
evil
S. with a
lad.
$50 donation. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Oh, nice.
Very
I know, Lindsay.
So, and then it turns out that the drug dealer who looks like Archie has been wearing a wig the entire time, and it's like, you could have chosen a better wig.
Well, I mean, isn't that the same thing as Lex Luthor? Didn't like Lex Luthor wear like a red wig?
That's true.
That's true. Like, so maybe he was just like, hey, it works for Sexy Lexi. It's going to work for me,
That's
too.
true. That is awesome.
Very convincing toupee. Let's just say.
Well, there you go. It had the Archie checkerboard pattern. Of course, it was convincing. this book has so many other cool callbacks too. Like you're bringing up Superman stuff at the very end. Archie's looking at Punisher. He's like, "Are you going to give me a signal watch so I can call you when there's trouble?" No.
Yeah. But Jughead does give Microchip a bag of burgers, and he's like, "I like you, Jughead. You're thinking. I'm driving this van.
We're on the same page."
I like the balloons that they have. There's the Shield and Sonic, which at the time was an Archie book, the Sonic Adventures book.
All the Archie stuff, plus Spider-Man. That Spider-Man balloon, didn't that kill people in Macy's?
I believe it murdered a whole city block of people. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd like to think that is.
Killed an entire city block?
People need to know. People need to know. Make a donation and tell us which Thanksgiving balloon murdered people.
I have a question. I'm going to zoom in on a certain frame here. I want to know, just kind of an existential, how can I get a woman to throw herself at me this way? Number one, she must do like a hell of a lot of plyo. She's like 4 feet off the ground. Going straight for this person that she doesn't know.
Yeah, in front of her dad.
Yeah,
yes.
Just throw her.
He's not even reaching out to catch her or anything. He's just like, yeah, she's going to land on the ground and it's going to be awesome. Like, she's just like...
In heels. She's doing this all in heels, too.
Which, that's...
I think, to answer your question, you need to have a girl that wants to show you up by inviting somebody else to the dance, so that when you show up, she's there with somebody else to make you jealous.
Look at that smug Archie.
Look at that motherfucker.
That's not even Archie. That's
not
the
even
bad
Archie.
guy with the buck teeth.
Wait till she finds out that that's a rug. Wait till she finds out that that's a rug.
He's got money because he runs a pharmaceutical firm. So, back in the days.
So the biggest missed opportunity of this is that it didn't turn out to be Arcade at the end.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
It should have been Arcade.
He does look like Arcade, too. I mean, Arcade has that...
ARCHI. They could have played around with that.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
I could do this crap.
What's it?
He knows how to handle the adolescent youth of the...
I think it's also that notion, I won't lie, of the similar but different. Like, this is somebody that looks exactly like Archie Andrews, but isn't Archie Andrews? Just a little bit older? You know what I mean? It's like you really like cheesecake, but then all of a sudden somebody gives you a creme brulee, and you're like, ooh. Yeah.
Cheesecake that's older, but with buck teeth?
This is a little bit different. I kind of like this.
Yeah,
Why not?
It's Archie, but like a man. It's like Archie with...
He's got hair on his chest.
Yeah. With a deeper voice.
Archie, but he's seen some shit.
That's right. You know how like pigeons are just doves that have been through some crap? That's what this is. It's the difference between a dove and a pigeon.
But no, Archie's seen his share of stuff. That's why the police won't believe him, because he's gone to them too many times to turn people in. And his dad was sneaking in. He turned him in as a criminal.
There's actually little subtle things in this book that are actually quite clever. Like, you know how Archie kind of at the time sort of vaguely took place in like the 50s-ish kind of. They have some signs up there that say that it's a 50s style sock hop that they're going to during the dance scenes. So that's a kind of sort of a back way of explaining why all these kids are dressed like it's like Happy Days. And the Punisher is the Punisher. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
I love that pass off the Punisher as the new athletic coach.
Yes.
And when the real athletic coach shows up, he's like, I can't do that. My back is bad.
And then you've got Mr. Weatherby, the principal, and he knows that kids want to have a good time. So this party doesn't go just till 10. But 10:15. Let's give them that extra 15 minutes, that extra quarter hour for them to really cut loose and have some of that delicious fruit punch. That's what you like.
Dude, did you notice where they slipped in Millie the Model and Patsy Walker and all the Marvel stars from the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
They fit in this particular story, as does Josie and the Pussycats, and I know the skeezy roadie that they've got work. That's kind of weird, though, right? That skeezy roadie that knows like the drug dealers and stuff. Somehow he ended up in Riverdale and was like, I'm going to work for Josie and the Pussycats. I guess that's where, if you were really truly skeezy, that's where you would want to work. You would be like...
That's part of a roadie's job, though. You have to know all the drug dealers. It's like in the application. It's like, how many drug dealers do you know? All of them.
I got this sweet job working with these girls. They dress up like cats.
I knew it.
Make sure I bring my Polaroid camera.
Sabrina's not there, though, is she?
No, she's not.
Sabrina.
I did not see Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Can I show you the back seat?
Dodge Charger.
Mr. LeVar, brother, I love you so much. $25 donation. With all those still fighting and those we've lost, it is a great honor to donate and know that I have not forgotten anyone that fought and lost or won. I will continue to run and help where I can. Thanks, Nick. Scott, I love you, brother. Thank you.
Very cool.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
nice.
We're almost at $5,000 too.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, if you open up your pockets, folks, open up.
This would be the first time that I ever made $5,000 in an hour, so that would be cool.
We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into ratings and recommendations. And we'll be right back with more of The Last Comic Shop.
Dakota Brown here, creator of the CBR Comic Crown Award-winning Death Comes for the Toymaker, here to tell you about my upcoming comic series, Something Beyond the Petrichor. Created alongside artist and horror indie comic star David Lujan, Something Beyond the Petrichor tells the story of a young woman named Jocelyn, her talking stuffed turtle, and a Bible-Belt cryptid who journey through a wasteland devastated by acid rain to search for any remnants of society that might be out there. The first issue of the 4-issue series will be available in stores June 4th. Be sure to tell your local comic shop that you want a copy.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at bcwsupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD.
Hi, I'm Connor McCreary, and I want to talk to you about The Last Witch. The Last Witch is perfect for anyone with young readers in their life. It's the story of 12-year-old Saoirse, who learns she can use magic when a coven of witches destroys her village, forcing her bratty little brother, and her cigar-smoking grandmother to help Saoirse stop the Queen of the Witches from destroying the world. I like to call it Irish Avatar: The Last Airbender, with just enough twists, turns, and scares to keep readers guessing. Book 1 is in stores now, and issue 1 of Book 2 starts coming out in June. It'll be your family's next favorite read.
Go to the last page on the book, Chad. Show them that wonderful Punisher Archie logo. That this should be on the back of everybody's truck and or T-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you should pencil in to all the people that have the Punisher stickers there.
Right.
You'll put the Archie eyebrows
and it doubles. It doubles as both scars, but also the cross hatching of the hair.
It's
so
brilliant.
It actually is a really neat graphic design there. I like that.
Do you think that this might have somehow led to that sort of Archie? You remember that Archie sort of had a renaissance a while back, where they were doing the Life with Archie book, and they were doing the
Archie's always in the grocery stores.
Yeah, it never got away, but the popularity seemed to like shoot up suddenly. So
what you're talking about is like Afterlife with Archie.
There was also Life with Archie that Norm Brayfogle wrote, where it was like more of almost like a sitcom sort of thing. Showed him a little older and things like that. Yeah.
So not like full on like CW Riverdale.
It was a little bit soap opera-y almost, but it was really good though. And then there was another one that was, I think it was like Archie 1945 or something.
Yeah, I remember. Was that Mark Waid?
Yeah.
Archie, it goes in waves, and there have been a ton of talent in the comic book industry that have taken their crack at Archie and Archie comics. Mm-hmm. You know, Andy kept alluding to the Afterlife with Archie. Those the guy that ends up show running the Riverdale.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Sarcasa.
There you go. Yeah. With the beautiful Francesco Francavilla art on that one. But then you have the time when Mark Waid took over, and he was writing the Archie book proper, and Chip Zdarsky was doing Jughead with Erica Henderson. there's always quality people working on these Archie comics. It seems like it's a safe haven for folks to go sometimes and try things out.
It was Archie 1941, by the way.
Okay.
It was Brian Augustine and Mark Waid. Real cool. It was a little more kind of serious, and like they end up, going off to war and things like that. So it was a little more, but it was an interesting look at the character who's been around forever.
Right.
Yeah, and as you said, I think everyone has read an Archie comic book at some time or another. So I think these mashup bring people back to the Archie tent for a little bit, because you're like, oh, I like Kiss, so I'm going to, let me see. Oh, I remember reading Archie. Let me see what this is like. Or Archie meets Glee.
I want to really add to that, too, that I think that's one of the benefits that Archie brings. By the way, this is a single issue, right? Like, this is a one-shot, right?
Yeah.
It's a complete story from beginning to end. You don't have to buy anything else. You don't have to know any of the characters. You just need to know who Punisher is. And for the most part, most people know who Archie is. And I think that's like a feature, not a bug, of most Archie books, is you can just pick up an Archie issue and you can just read it. And I think this is the strength here, too, in this mashup, is like, I don't know if you could do this with other characters to the extent of throwing them into a big universe. Yeah. You're supposed to know who Veronica is. You're supposed to know who Betty is. You're supposed to know who Jughead is. But you do. You do know who all these people are. So, like, really, the only character you kind of sort of don't know, maybe, is Punisher. But they do a very good job of explaining it.
Archie Andrews' character was created like 2 years after Batman, and he's been in continuous publication in some form or another ever since. And there's been, there's a television series in the 50s. I don't know how well that went. And there was the animated series, and then there was a TV movie. Then there was the very successful Riverdale TV show. Like, all different media, all different. So it's just Archie's always been there.
Yeah. And I was going to add, that's one of my favorites, is when Archie met Batman. It was Archie and Batman 66 and the melding of those universes. And there is something universal about Archie that just works. Similar to the Batman 66, where it's that campy attitude. I don't know. We've talked a lot about how Batman is like the Bruce Lee water, You pour water into a glass, the water becomes the shape of the glass. Archie is similar but different in the fact that he fits almost anywhere, but he still retains his Archiness. There's always something that's so universal about the teenager problems, just the goofiness of him and his friends. You can put him in horror. You can put him being chased down by the Predator. You could put him as a superhero in the, what's his superhero name?
Pureheart, I thought.
Pureheart.
But yeah, I always liked the Reggie when Reggie turned into the bad version. Kind of like the...
I got back just in time. We just got $5,000 with a $130 donation from Nicole L. Thank you so much. Putting us at the $5,000 mark. Thank you so much.
Right. Very good. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the book for this week's show, and we're going to do ratings. So, as we often do, we're going to rate this book out of a 1 out of 4 scale. Jay Scott usually gives us a fun scale. Again, this is just for shits and giggles. Like, we just like to sometimes assign a value because we read so much. But, Jay, what do we got this week?
Jughead was always one of my favorite characters, so it's going to be hamburgers. How many? 4 hamburgers is nothing for Jughead. That's right. 1 out of 4 hamburgers.
Real quickly, here's a mashup. Jughead and Wimpy. Jughead and Wimpy. Nice. Who's going to eat more hamburgers?
That Kobayashi guy.
That's right. Well, we know who's going to pay for them, at least. It's either going to be Archie paying for Jugheads or nobody, because Wimpy's going to pull his whole "I'll gladly pay you Thursday for a hamburger today" thing.
Yeah, whose tab is higher? That's
right. That's right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start off with Chad. I know you like Archie. Not a huge fan of the Punisher, though. I mean, sometimes you have mentioned in the past. But what'd you think of this?
Yeah, so there is a certain ick factor for me when it comes to the Punisher. I'm just not... And I'm not super crazy about Archie. He's, it's a great sometimes food where every now and again, every once in a blue moon, it's like, I'll sit down with Archie for 6 issues or 8 issues or so and read a story. And they're always great. And then I go back to my regularly scheduled programming. But this is something different just because it's such a unique mashup of 2 things that shouldn't go together. You said peanut butter and pickles. I'm thinking like peanut butter and shrimp. It's just something. that's so
warm shrimp.
Yeah.
A bucket of hot shrimp.
But it's one of these things that should not exist for all kinds of reasons on both sides of the equation, and yet it does, and they make it work, right? And so, am I a big Archie fan? Not really. Am I a big Punisher guy? Not really. But is this an entertaining story? Did I have fun picking through the little parts and, laughing at the jokes and stuff? I did. So, just for being impressively put together and composed and respecting both universes while still telling an entertaining tale, I'm going to give it 3.5 hamburgers.
Oh, very nice. I'll go a little bit lower than that. I'm going to give it just a solid 3. This is a good book. I feel like this is a book that I could give a lot of folks that don't read comic books, and they could have a lark just reading it. They could just be like, oh, that's kind of neat. I still wanted to see Punisher drink a strawberry frappe. Archie's like, do you want a strawberry frappe? And he's like, no, thanks. I'll just have black coffee. And it's just like, you know what? At least he gave it a try. And at the end, he does get this cardigan with the R on it. And he's like, oh, this was a pretty nice town. I kind of liked it here. And but to Chad's point, I think that the fact that, first off, you had a writer that respected both franchises. You had 2 fantastic artists. I mean, John Buscema, he drew the book How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, right? He is one of the quintessential Marvel artists. And then you have Stan Goldberg, who is one of the quintessential Archie comics artists. And you have them do their own art, and then you have awesome Tom Palmer make it all look nice and just put that sheen over it. And the fact that they were able to do that and combine things in a way that was, again, so respectful and tasteful and made for an interesting story, it's a solid 3. J.A.?
Yeah, I mean, whimsy is the thing that comes to mind with this book the most. It's fun. What would have been interesting is this is at a time when Punisher was, really super popular at Marvel. I think they had 3 monthly comics at that time.
Warzone, The Armory, where it's just his weapons and him talking about his weapons and how much he likes the weapons.
Do you see my gun? How big my gun?
So I would have been interested if you were a big Punisher fan, did you get both versions of this one shot to add to your collection? Obviously, you have to have it, right? If you're getting all the Punisher. I did love the way that they mixed both art styles. I thought that was really well done. It's a 3 to me. It's relatively short. You can read it quite quickly. It's one of those books that you read and you're reminded of when you were younger and you read Archie comics, I think. At the end where he says he needs to leave because he's going to Gotham, they ended up then putting out a Batman and Punisher book later that year. So he actually did go to Gotham. That's a nice little touch as well, I thought. So if you bought the Archie version, it was $1 cheaper than if you got the Marvel version. They're both about the same on the secondary market. You can't make a lot of money if you have one versus the other.
There you go. But the Marvel one does have extra, like a pinup or 2 in there, so you get an extra bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're looking today, go with the Marvel one.
All right, Mikey, wrap us up here.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, this book is like a Republican's wet dream. Like, it's like pure saccharine 1950s Americana with guns. Like, it's like, yeah, with the oozing. Yeah. Totally goofy. The dialogue is super goofy, and it's everything it's supposed to be. So yeah, I mean, I'd have to give it probably like a 3. Would I ever buy one? Maybe if I saw one, sure. Putting Archie into these ridiculous situations is hilarious. And it is kind of worth it just for that Punisher Archie logo, which is like, I want a t-shirt. Like, I really do want a t-shirt of that. Like,
all right. Well, we've still got about 10 minutes left in today's program, so let's go ahead and just move on to recommendations. These are other comic books in addition to Punisher meets Archie that you might want to check out at your local comic book shop. And I'm going to go ahead and go first because mine's super simple. I might be stealing a lot of people's thunder here, but a little while ago, we finally got an omnibus, DC versus Marvel. And for those folks that have listened to a lot of other live stream for the Cures that we've been on, we've actually done a lot of the comics that are in this book. We've done Batman and the Hulk. We've done Superman and Spider-Man. Unfortunately, there isn't the Star Trek X-Men, but still, this is an amazing book. This particular copy that I'm showing today has the late, great George Perez cover, but you can also get an awesome Jim Lee cover if you happen to like the more modern take on these superheroes. But tons of stories in here. You get Superman and the Fantastic Four. You get Superman and the Hulk. You get the X-Men and Teen Titans. You get Daredevil and Batman. You get Batman and Punisher. You get a second story with Spider-Man and Superman, which has Superman fight Dr. Doom. So those folks that are looking forward to the Avengers Doomsday next year, you get some Dr. Doom action. So yeah, it's a great book. It's huge. It's massive. So many stories in here. And it's still available out at your local comic book shops or any place where you might find a comic book. So I can't recommend it enough. Chad, what do you got?
So I'm thinking in the realm of mashups, and I realize we have a different audience here, the live stream for The Cure, which, by the way, thank you so much for everybody who's donated, everybody who's tuned in, everybody who's trying to do good and help us reach these goals. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. We're so grateful just to participate in this stuff. But it might not be our standard audience here. So one of the things that's going on currently in comic books is it's called the Energon universe. So you might not be aware that Robert Kirkman, the guy who's in charge of Invincible and Walking Dead and Battle Beast, which there were blind bags this week. That was tons of fun. But he is in charge of G.I. Joe, Transformers, and another book called Void Rivals. And he's mashing them all together in one shared universe. And it's some of the best stuff going in comic books today. And the Transformers book is the hardest hardcore war book I've seen in a long time. They're written by a guy named Daniel Warren Johnson. The first arc was drawn by him too. Like it's incredible. And so that's my recommendation is the Energon universe. If you're looking to get back into comics, most of these have just had trade paperbacks come out in the last month or so. Or just the G.I. Joe title that you won't want. It's so fun. Very easy to get caught up and to sink your teeth into these comic book universes. And before you know it, you'll be excited to tune in for our next mashup, hopefully. Maybe you'll become one of us.
We always hope they do. J.A., what do you got for us?
Well, before you recommend anything, J.A., I just want to drop in here. Manster with a $100 donation. Thank you so much. Pushing us to $5,100.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, J.A., what do you got for the Manster?
Well, if you listened to this last hour and you thought, I need more of that Archie goodness, crossover, mashup stuff, I'm giving you Archie versus Predator, because it's not one issue, it's 4-issue miniseries. Mm-hmm. And what I love about it is what attracts the Predator to the Archie universe is that Betty and Veronica get into a fight, and the Predator wants a piece of that action.
Wow! Well, like all of us, well, no lie. They won't lie.
We all want to trade places with Archie and go back and forth between Betty and Veronica at some point.
That's right. We really
can't blame the Predator there.
And initially, I thought about that instead of Archie versus Punisher for this live stream. I was like, let's do the Predator instead. But the 4 issues, I thought more of just one. But that's a great recommendation, J.A.
And that one's all Archie style, isn't it?
But a lot of teenagers die in it. So I can't say it's all Archie style because the Predator picks off a bunch of them.
All right. Well, we got one last recommendation that comes from Michael J. Wood. So, Michael, what do you got for us?
Well, since we're doing the crossover thing and crossovers that nobody really would have thought of ever happened, I am choosing Batman 66 Meets the Man from U.N.C.L.E. It was a 6-issue miniseries from DC back in 2016 where Batman... Now, this is the Burt Ward, Adam West Batman. So very campy, very tongue-in-cheek. Batman 66, they meet Napoleon Solo and Ilya Kuryakin. There we go. From Man from U.N.C.L.E., the TV series. So not the most recent movie, which is awesome, and nobody saw it, and that's a shame. But sort of like campy superheroes meets campy spy stuff. And it's I highly recommend it.
Very good.
Yeah.
So those are some awesome comic books featuring a lot of characters, some of which we hope you've heard of, that you can go out to your local comic book shop or bookstore and pick up today. And gosh, we are almost at time here, Nick, and we appreciate so much the fact that you let us come on and talk about comic books and hopefully educate some folks and get them reading something, as well as donating to your worthwhile cause. I mean, the live stream for the cure is just, as I said before, it's something we look forward to every single year because we know what a difference folks like you make. And everybody out there that made during this particular hour and the rest of this event. Your donations are helping. And so let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. You guys are on for what, another couple of hours here?
We're here till midnight, which is, you guys killed it. You guys killed every year. And I just absolutely love having you guys back.
Hey.
I really love hearing too, like, that's been a really recurring theme this year, which I feel like has been weird for me to hear anyway. It's just like how much people look forward to this, like really as part of podcasting, like all year. It's like a big thing. Everybody really gets like ramped up and hyped up for, and everything like that. So I'm going to keep bringing you back every year and you're just going to have to deal with it.
There you go. You're giving people an opportunity to make a difference, and we hope the folks out there in the audience sees that opportunity to help make that difference too, and keep the live stream for the cure going, keep donating. This is our moonshot within our lifetime. We can definitely do this thing.
Any particular mashups you want me to find, Nick? I mean, you didn't get to throw one out. Usually you like to. So with our last 2 seconds.
I was like, is there somewhere online? Let's see, random comic book versus gender. Okay, Two-Face.
Okay.
And the Hood. The is the Hood?
The Hood was a Marvel guy, right? He wore
what if Spider-Man was a bad guy?
He's actually going to be the antagonist in the upcoming Ironheart show on Disney Plus. So that Riri Williams, he's going to be the bad guy. But he was basically like Kingpin, but like different. Like, he had these magic weapons, and he kept getting bigger and bigger, like more powerful stuff. Eventually, he had the Infinity Gauntlet for like a hot second. Like,
I can give you this one too. Ready for this one?
Yes.
Man-Bat.
Okay.
And Heatwave. What is Heatwave?
It sounds like that's a DC character, right?
Is that a Flash? It's a Flash villain, yeah.
It sounds actually like one of those double acts. Like you would go to see, like, I'm going to go see Heatwave tonight, but Man-Bat's starting for him.
I want to see
some of these, but
Swamp Thing versus Man-Thing, and it just looks like somebody just blew up a salad.
That's just a bunch of things, but no, we got to do Heatwave versus Man-Bat. So Heatwave comes out, he's got his heat gun, he's microwaving burgers or whatever, and
microwaving burger.
Yeah, he's heating them up, getting things moving.
Gentlemen, I appreciate
all
you guys
right,
so much.
We got to get going. Thank you so much, Nick.
for being here. You
Thank
guys
you,
are
man.
absolutely amazing. Have an amazing week.
All right, so that was this year's live stream for the cure for those folks that might have missed it. And we hope, again, that you don't miss it next year. Again, it's usually in May, but make sure you're checking out our socials in order to get more information around that time. Until then, we hope that you come back for more Last Comic Shop every single week, and you can do that easily by reviewing, and subscribing over at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. It's a terrific place where you can listen to not only all of our past episodes, but some of those are also previous live stream for the Cure events, such as I think we did Batman versus the Hulk, and Spider-Man and Superman, and Superman versus Muhammad Ali was one of those shows. So
did we do Titans X-Men yet?
We did, but that wasn't a live stream for the Cure.
Did we do X-Men Star Trek? Was that live stream?
X-Men Star Trek. Yeah, that was live stream for the
That's
Cure.
right. Spock and Wolverine going at it.
That's right. Comic books. So we might be the Last Comic Shop podcast, but we don't want to be the Last Comic Shop. So we recommend everybody get out there on your way to do good with all these other various organizations. But stop by your comic shop on the way, where you could pick up things like the DC versus Marvel Omnibus or the Marvel versus DC Omnibus. I forget which one goes first. But there's tons of great stories, and there are tons of things we've done in past live stream for the Cure episodes, and some we might do in future live stream for the Cure episodes, because we tend to do those mashups quite a bit. Or if you want a little bit more quieter, self-contained mashup, you could go for the Batman 66 meets the Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was Mikey's recommendation. Or maybe you want something just bonkers, so you're going to go Archie versus Predator. That's a fun one. Or my recommendation was the Energon universe, those books coming out of Skybound with G.I. Joe and Transformers, and the fact that Cobra is powered by Energon, and there's the Void Rivals. All that stuff is fun, and all that waits for you at your local comic shop. But today, in honor of the live stream for The Cure, we want to talk about doing good and recommend not just comic books, but also other places where you could go to help in the process of finding a cure for cancer. So I'm going to start things off. I know I've done some fundraisers in the past for the Susan G. Komen Foundation. You can find them at komen.org, where they are focused on helping women with breast cancer and the fight against breast cancer. It's a wonderful organization that does tons of great work. So if you need an additional place to donate, check out komen.org for some of the great things they do. J.A., where would you recommend folks go?
Prostate Cancer Foundation. If you're a man, if you're in your 40s or your 50s, please get a checkup. Prostate cancer is the second most commonly diagnosed type of cancer in men. So to learn more and find support, go to pcf.org for the Prostate Cancer Foundation.
Well, those folks that might be longtime listeners to The Last Comic Shop may have heard my beautiful wife, Nicole, on previous episodes. For those folks that may not know, Nicole's Clark Kent role in life is she's a physician assistant, specifically working in thoracic surgery. And she wanted me to make sure that everybody was aware that lung cancer is actually the number one cancer reason overall. And 20% of all lung cancers actually have nothing to do with folks smoking. So long story short, I want to make sure that everybody knows about Go-To for Lung Cancer. It is a fantastic organization that helps raise public awareness for lung cancer screenings throughout the United States. So make sure that if you're definitely a smoker or something along those lines, that you're getting those lung cancer screenings so that they can find those things early and possibly be able to treat them. But even if you're not, it never hurts if you're at risk to make sure that you're checking out the preventative measures and checking out Go-To for Lung Cancer as well.
There you go. Nicole is a lovely person. We all hope you would get to meet Nicole someday, but hopefully it's not while she's at work. In the thoracic ward. Yeah. Mikey, our main man, Mikey, who's always helping us out with things like the live stream for the Cure event. Yes. Where do you recommend people could help out if they want to donate to a cancer-based cause, sir?
Cancer is also the number one cause of death by disease among children. So, which is pretty shocking to hear. It's like they say 43 kids in the United States are expected to be diagnosed with cancer every day. I chose the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, the NPCF. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to funding research to eliminate childhood cancer. And they have scored a perfect 100% score for financial health and transparency with things like Charity Navigator and Better Business Bureau. So you know that your money, and it's 89.6 cents of every dollar spent, goes to the mission. And they have, since their inception, donated over $50 million to cancer research for children. So that you can check them out at nationalpcf.org. So that's the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
Yes. And if you've missed any of those particular links, make sure that you're checking out the show notes on your favorite podcasting platform so that you can find links to all of those incredible organizations. And again, donate some time and some money potentially to one of those great causes.
Yeah, let's beat this thing, guys. We can do this. Within our lifetimes, we can beat cancer. F cancer.
In any case, until next week, when we hope you join us for more Last Comic Shop, I was the host with most, Andy Larson. I was joined by Jay Scott, Chad Smith, and the wonderful Mikey Wood. And we hope that you stay safe. Stay healthy. Get those checkups. Get those screenings. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself in that regard. And just remember that if you ever get slapped by a high frequency, it megahertz.
Okay, I like that one. I'm going to say that I like that one. I'm going to say it.
You won Mikey over with one.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. That's like 1 out of 105.
Every so often.
was a 2025 Black Angus production.